the action session of the Board of School Commissioners for Thursday, March 19th. Would you please stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag. Republic for which it stands. I will note this evening that we have 3 commissioners joining us, participating via teleconference pursuant to the changes and modifications to the open door law approved by the governor by executive order. Mr. Mulholland, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Arnold.
Present.
Commissioner Gore.
Present.
Commissioner Moore.
Present.
Commissioner Slack.
Present.
Secretary Collins.
Commissioner Collins. I heard you saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm sorry, yes, I'm here.
Thank you. I heard you saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Vice President Hawkins.
Present.
And President O'Connor.
Present. Thank you. We'll now adopt the agenda for tonight's meeting. Reviewing the agenda, are there any requests or changes to the agenda as presented? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I believe, Zach, do we have to do this via roll call?
What we'll do on these votes is just if there's any no votes, I'll need to record that in the minutes as a roll call vote. If it's a unanimous vote, then I can just record that as a roll call in the minutes, but we don't need to do commissioner by commissioner.
All in favor?
It's really hard to hear what you're saying. Would you closer the microphone?
Sorry, it sounds like she may have
Yeah,
difficulty.
she's having trouble hearing you. Where's the pickup for this?
I think they're both on stage, so unless they're watching the live feed, there may be, I understand there might be a delay from them on their end, so if you could just communicate, perhaps.
And I think I need you to talk a little louder also.
Got it, okay, understood.
So we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving to section 3, does any commissioner wish to offer opening comments this evening? I will note for the record, we are operating, I think anybody watching at home can see that the commissioners and the superintendent are separated by the suggested distance by the CDC. By count of our room tonight, we have less than 10 in the room, if you don't count Scott Martin hanging out outside the door. And we have stripped this agenda down to what are both emergency items and essential action items needed to both respond to the state of emergency we are in and for our school system and school families to prepare for the upcoming school year, which will come. And it is our job to be prepared for both, to respond to the challenges our families are facing during this challenging period, and we'll hear maybe a little more about that later, but also to prepare for the upcoming school year. As mentioned, in accordance with guidance from the Government and Public Access Council, we've adjusted, as I said, the public comment process to accept electronic comment up until about 4 p.m. this evening. Zach, is that correct?
Correct.
It started on March 13th and remained open until 4 p.m. today. We received 147 written submissions in total, with the board administration receiving periodic updates of the received comments. All submitted comments are posted in Board Docs, item 2.02, and are available for review by the media and by the public, should you wish to look at it. Moving to the consent agenda, reviewing the items included in the consent agenda, are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor, or I'm sorry, any comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? I will be better about the pause for the teleconference. I apologize to my colleagues on the phone. The motion carries. Moving on to, where are we on the budget? I think we have had a budget hearing with a public comment period. I'm moving to, Alicia, you want to talk a little bit about the budget, and then we'll.
Thank you. Oh, I'm really loud. Okay. Thank you, President O'Connor. Items 4.01 through 4.08 are all related to the budget adoption process. As you will recall, the board must follow a specific timeline and set of actions as it relates to the adoption of our budget so that we can meet the April 1 submission deadline to DLGF. So we reviewed that process and budget during our public hearing last Monday, March 9th. Weston Young is one of the 10 people here to respond to any questions commissioners may have regarding the budget process. And then we would like to move forward adopting those resolutions if it's okay with commissioners as one.
As chair, I would accept, before we move to questions, I would accept a motion to consolidate budget actions into one motion.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor of consolidating signify by saying aye.
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 Fine, and then we will move into any questions with regards to Weston, who has presented this to us 3 times and has done so in a public meeting. And as I will remind everybody, during a public hearing was that 2 years ago or was that last Monday?
Last Monday.
So we have one motion. Any questions for any of you on the phone of Weston?
No, I don't have any. No, I have none.
Commissioner Slack, you're good?
Are you asking us to set, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just if you had any questions regarding the budget, we've consolidated into one motion.
Oh, no.
Thank you. I have a motion to second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
In unfinished business, you will find one item, which is item 6.01. However, it includes 4 separate Innovation Network School agreements. So I'll talk about each of those agreements briefly, and then ask the board for action for each agreement. The first is an Innovation Network School agreement leveraging the Jumpstart pathway at Arlington Woods Elementary School. Principal Henderson first presented to the board last November and then presented an update last Monday regarding the work she's done in this regard to move toward a Jumpstart. Along with the agreement, you will also have found an Innovation Network School application that was submitted by Principal Henderson and has been reviewed by our internal team and also has been available for commissioner and public review. So at this time, the administration requests board approval of that agreement as presented.
I'll just note that the order of the resolutions might be a little different than the order the superintendent's presenting. So I believe the resolution that she's referring to is Resolution 7853. Let me confirm that. Apologies.
Oh, yep, you're right.
But I actually-
7852.
So what I would actually suggest, we will take action on each of these resolutions independently. But what I think for purposes of moving this meeting along, what I think maybe we could do is introduce each of the resolutions. We will then have I hope, cursory comments from each of the commissioners. We've had significant conversation about these resolutions during public meetings, but let's introduce all of them. We will have to take individual actions on each of them, and for these votes, we will have to take a roll call since we have commissioners participating by teleconference. But let's introduce all, and then we'll take questions or comments with regards to them as a group.
Okay, so Arlington Woods I just spoke of was Resolution 7852. 7849 is an innovation charter agreement with Phelan Leadership Academy to restart Lewis B. Russell School 48. Lewis B. Russell was formally recommended for restart by the administration in January of this year. Since that time, continued conversations with the school community have occurred with district staff along with PLA as a prospective partner, along with discussions that we have had as a board since January. We've also received substantial public comment over the course of January and February, along with significant written public comment provided this evening, and the administration will request approval of that agreement as presented. The next resolution, resolution number 7850, is an Innovation Network Charter School agreement with the Path School to restart Stephen Foster School 67. Stephen Foster was also formally recommended by the administration for restart in January of this year. Continued conversations with that school community from district staff, from the prospective school leader as a partner, along with discussions that have been happening at the board level, have been also ongoing since January. We've also received substantial public comment over the course of January and February, along with significant written public comment provided this evening. The administration therefore requests the approval of this agreement as presented. The last resolution, resolution 7851, is an Innovation Charter School agreement with Adelante Schools to become the new partner at Imadonin Elementary and Middle School. As a result of the return of that school from state takeover and the termination of our prior agreement with Charter Schools USA, the board voted to terminate the agreement with Charter Schools USA at Imadonin Elementary in November, and the State Board of Education returned Imadonin Middle back to the district's oversight in January. Adelante Schools has been engaged in the Imadonin community as a prospective partner also since January. They have engaged in continued conversations with neighborhood associations. The district has held community meetings as well. And like the other entities I've mentioned, we've received public comment regarding Adelante Schools in February, and in the written comments we have received this month. And so the administration requests the board's approval of that agreement as well. We are taking this action this evening, given the substantial dialogue we have had over the last several months, in order to make sure we're making plans for the new school year, which will arrive at some point, but we need to be able to make sure those school communities know what to expect in the new year.
So, Board, we have in front of us resolutions number 7849, number 7850, number 7851, and number 7852. Appropriately, I think, labeled 3 restarts and 1 jump start. This is my first run at having a meeting with participants on teleconference, and I think for ease, what I might do is go alphabetically so I don't miss any of the commissioners who are on the phone, and I will start it with, again, sort of asking for cursory comments as quickly as we can this evening so we can adhere to our trying to get in and out of this meeting as necessary. But I would go to Commissioner Collins for any quick questions or comments before we take a vote.
I can reserve my comments or go ahead with the vote, just to move things along.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Collins. Commissioner Gore?
I have no questions at this point. I will only make a comment as my vote.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Slack?
I don't have anything to say. I can reserve mine to the end.
Okay, thank you very much. Going from left to right, Commissioner Moore?
Okay, well, of course, you know I do. I do intend to vote for all 4 of the schools. I want the families to know that I heard and I read. I also want the administration to understand that the one-offs are not working for me as a school board commissioner, and that I expect in the very near future that we come up with some type of plan to move the direction of our schools into the quality that we have, so that many of our principals do not have to consider or want to become a part of an innovation network in order to be successful. So, while I will be voting for this, all 4 of the schools, I will have some concerns moving forward if we do not have a plan as to what we intend to do with our district as a whole.
Thank you, Commissioner Moore. Commissioner Arnold?
I, too, will be supporting all 4 of the agreements. I gave my lengthy comments at the last meeting. I have read through every comment that's been given to the board, and from the ones that I've received, they have been overwhelmingly in favor of this action. I also attended every meeting at School 67. I listened to people, and I just believe that this is in the best interest of our students moving forward, and it's important that we take this vote so that we can begin to plan for the semester that will be starting the next school year. So I would just say, you know, I know that there are those that are critical of us voting tonight, but there were those who were critical of us because we didn't vote last month and we're voting tonight. And I think it's important that we move forward.
Commissioner Hawkins?
Thank you, President O'Connor. I think I echo my fellow commissioners' comments that families are making decisions now, particularly as we think about the second round of our one-match enroll-ND process. And so I, too, will be voting in support and in favor of all 4 resolutions. I think in particular, you know, as we think about School 48 in particular, again, I, too, shared comments and thoughts and rationale for why particularly 67 and 48, I believe, require restart. Especially, I would say that having a chance to get to know PATH and PLA, I will say that I understand now why the district has recommended those particular partners through this matching process. I think their strong academic plans, their community engagement has been strong, and I encourage them to continue to push forward in collaboration with the district, particularly in these times now. I would say for Arlington Woods Elementary, School 99, the outpour of support for Principal Henderson, her team, and the community have just been incredible. I want to thank Eastern Star, particularly in that faith community, for stepping up and showing their support for the leadership of Principal Henderson and her team, as well as the best interests of our students. And finally, for Adelante, for Matthew and Eddie. I don't know Matthew so well, but I do know Eddie. And I will say that I have watched him work for some time and have the utmost confidence in his effort and his plan with Matthew going forward in the Emma-Donnan community. They've done a heck of a job engaging community partners, building a team of support, and stand ready to serve our students at Emma-Donnan. So again, I will be in support of each and all 4 of the resolutions, and thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hawkins. So do I have a motion to approve resolution number 7849, approving the Innovation Charter Agreement with Phelan Leadership Academy as presented?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Which I'm going to collapse that. Go to Mr.
I'm sorry, President O'Connor. I thought you were coming back to get our vote on each of those resolutions.
Yeah, yes, I am. I was just asking Mr. Mulholland to start calling the roll, Commissioner Gore.
Oh, okay.
Commissioner Arnold,
Yes.
Commissioner Gore,
I wanted to let Board know that I've thought about it. I will be voting yes for School 99 Jumpstart and yes for Adelante for Emma-Donnan. I will vote no for 48 and no for 67. I feel that these need more time for the principals to try to work on their buildings to continue to grow.
So on this particular motion, which is 7849 for the Phelan Leadership Academy, that is a yes vote, if I am interpreting that correctly. Is that correct, Commissioner Gore?
Yes for 99, yes.
No,
No,
that's-
sorry.
And yes for Emma-Donnan.
That's Phelan, right?
So, yeah.
And no for
She's a
the
no.
48 and
No.
67.
No.
Okay, so, all right. So that is a no on this resolution, Commissioner Gore. I'm just clarifying. Thank you. Mr. Mulholland.
thank you. Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Slack,
I would be voting no. I guess I would like to say that I've attended many of these sessions and forums, and I've heard our community and echo their sentiments when it comes to the stability of our innovation model. And as a parent of innovation and a parent in this district, I have not been shown anything that shows that these methods are proven to work, so I'll be saying no to this.
Commissioner Collins,
No.
Commissioner Vice President Hawkins,
Yes.
President O'Connor.
Yeah, yes.
By a Vote of 4 to 3, the motion carries.
Moving on to resolution number 7850. Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 7850, approving the Innovation Charter Agreement with the Path School as presented?
So move.
Second.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Mr. Mulholland, would you please proceed with the roll?
Commissioner Arnold,
Yes.
Commissioner Gore,
Okay, I'm sorry. Please explain to me what I'm voting on at this point.
What's the school number on this one?
this is
School 67, Commissioner Gore. The restart at School 67.
I'm voting no for the restart at 67.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Slack,
I'll be voting no.
Secretary Collins,
No.
Vice President Hawkins,
Yes.
President O'Connor.
Yes.
By a vote of 4 to 3, the motion carries.
And then the next one is So Commissioner Gore, on this one, this is the restart at Emma Donnan as we proceed to take the vote on that for your
Okay.
information. Thank you.
I voted yes on that.
Well, we haven't voted yet. I have to call for the vote.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 7851, approving the Innovation Charter Agreement with Adelante Schools as presented?
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
oh,
Oh, sorry,
no,
sorry,
no.
we're going to roll call. Bad. We're learning.
Commissioner Arnold,
Yes.
Commissioner Gore,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Slack,
No.
Secretary Collins,
Yes.
Vice President Hawkins,
Yes.
President O'Connor.
Yes.
By a vote of 6 to 1, the motion carries.
Proceeding on, and Commissioner Gore, the next school would be at School 99. Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 7852, approving the Innovation Network Agreement with Sankofa Schools? I'm sorry.
So move.
Oh, moved?
Second.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded. We're learning. This has been a learning experience for everybody. It has been moved and seconded.
And a hearing experience.
Yes, really.
Commissioner Mulholland, Mr. Mulholland, would
got
you please
promoted.
call the roll?
Commissioner Arnold,
Yes.
Commissioner Gore,
We're talking about School 99?
Yes.
Jumpstart? Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Slack,
I'll be voting no. However, I do love Principal Henderson and the work she has done at that school, and I appreciated her model, and I believe that if she's given more time, then her model will work without innovation. I love her, and I love the support she's getting from the Eastern Star community. So I'll be voting no.
Secretary Collins,
Yes.
Vice President Hawkins,
Yes.
President O'Connor.
Yes.
By a vote of 6 to 1, the motion carries.
Moving on to the emergency resolution concerning the COVID-19 response. Superintendent Johnson, would you please explain?
Item 8.01 is a resolution that the administration requests the board's approval of.
Sorry, 7.01.
I'm sorry, 7.01. As it relates to our response to the ongoing COVID-19 epidemic, this resolution has been crafted to respond to our current context, which will allow the administration to leverage additional flexibility as it relates to employee compensation, given the changing landscape regarding our response to COVID-19. Zach, do you want to add any additional comments?
Sure, the resolution,
President O'Connor,
Yes, Commissioner Gore?
this is Commissioner Gore, I'm sorry. Did we finish the votes on the innovation? I don't remember voting for 48, did I?
Yes, you did.
The first one.
Okay. I was voting no on that. Did that go
Correct,
through?
yes, yeah. We registered you as a no vote.
No 67 and no 40. Okay, just wanted to be sure. Thank you.
We got you.
Okay. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
yes, the resolution before you, resolution number 7843, authorizes the superintendent to make any necessary or reasonable changes to the pay, benefit, and leave policies and practices of the district in response to the recent public health crisis related to COVID-19. You'll notice that there aren't specifics about with regard to what those changes might be in light of the changing nature, and it seems to be getting hourly updates on this. So it gives flexibility to the superintendent administration to respond accordingly to those changes to ensure that our employees are covered in terms of their compensation and benefits. The resolution is set to expire upon the last day of the 2019-20 school year unless it is extended or rescinded by the board as reasonable and appropriate. Furthermore, finally, the superintendent will provide updates and report back to the board on any necessary adjustments to the policies or practice of the district.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution number 7853, granting the superintendent the authority to respond to the COVID-19 situation as presented?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Commissioner Arnold.
I would just like to express, as I'm sure everyone would, the appreciation for all of the work that our great superintendent and her team have done. I know it's been tireless work, every day changing. As just today, the governor announced that school will not now be in effect until May, and that we did not as a district even find that out until it was disclosed. And so every day is a changing day, but I very much appreciate the effort that's been put into helping our children continue to learn at home, to have food, and look at issues like daycare and other issues. So I know moving forward, it will be nothing less than it's been, but kudos to you and your team, and I'm so glad you're at the helm during this time.
Thank you.
Thank you, President O'Connor. I, as well, I just want to thank our community for the support and love for IPS children during this difficult time, and not just IPS children, but children in general across our city, especially for our students. This is disruptive, and know that while the district continues to react and respond to new and evolving information, know that you have a community that loves you and cannot wait to welcome you back. Parents as well, I want to lift up parents, and as a parent of the district, I want to acknowledge that the burden is heavy for you and for us, and I especially just want to thank you for your patience throughout this time period, and I would be remiss if I didn't also acknowledge our incredible teaching corps and staff. I can tell you as a parent as well, just the correspondences that I know that my daughter and so many other families that I've been in contact with have received from you provide hope and lift up families during this difficult time period. And so just want to thank each of you for standing in the gap right now during this unknown or difficult time period right now. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank President O'Connor and Superintendent Johnson for your leadership during this difficult time period. And it seems like every day, every moment, every minute, the world is changing. But I would say, especially Superintendent Johnson, there is a community that's rallying behind you and your staff who've done an amazing job as we work through this. And so I am so thrilled to stand behind and support this resolution, and know that we will get through this together.
President O'Connor, this is Commissioner Gore. I'd just like to thank all of our employees. I'd like to thank our families for going through what we're adjusting to a new normal. I'd also like to thank our leadership, I know Superintendent Johnson, this was not on your job resume, but you've done a great job with the leadership, and we do appreciate all of your help along with your staff, who I know have been meeting endlessly to make things work for this district. So with that said, we hope that this will be over soon, but thanks to everyone who's pitching in, our bus drivers, our teachers, all of the people who are affected by this.
And I would like to add a quote from Marcus Aurelius that we have power over our minds, but not over outside events. And that has proven itself this past 2.5 weeks. And I have complete trust and faith in that we will continue to be strong and keep our families healthy and keep our district children and families in the forefront of all of our decisions that we make in the future.
This is Commissioner Slack. I'd like to echo the same thing as my leadership, and I'm so proud of our leadership for taking on the responsibility and making sure our kids are getting fed. Also, our students being patient with us with navigating this unprecedented situation that we have. Also, our teachers was continually being in contact with us, our schools continually being in contact, our leaderships at our schools. I want to thank them and their parents. So I just want to ditto everything that our other commissioners said, because it's a tough situation to be in since I am a parent in the district, and it's quite difficult, but I think we can do it together. And if we continue to be hopeful and be mindful of each other to work together, it will work out.
Thank you, Commissioners. I would point out something that's relatively important that Mr. Mulholland mentioned, which is this resolution expires at the end of the school year. While we are hopeful that this issue is behind us by then, as we move through this, there may need to be, as everyone has noted, we are in an unprecedented point of view. We may find out that there are items that perhaps aren't covered by this resolution that the superintendent presents us with that says, I need the authority to do this. We will examine the flexibility given by the governor's new rules on public meetings. If we have to act, we can act quickly, but that it is a fluid situation, and certainly we have to leave open the option that we may have to renew this at the end of the school year for some given circumstances. So I would like to point that out before I move to a vote.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Collins, do you have a question? Nope. Okay.
No, I don't have any.
Thank you.
No questions.
Mr. Mulholland, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Arnold,
Yes.
Commissioner Gore,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Slack,
Yes.
Secretary Collins,
Yes.
Vice President Hawkins,
Yes.
President O'Connor.
Yes.
The motion carries by a vote of 7-0.
Moving to closing comments. Does any commissioner wish to offer closing comments? And I would offer that to our colleagues on the phone first, just for a process point of view. If you wish to offer comments, please speak up now. Closing comments.
I don't have any. Thank you.
I don't have any. Commissioner Slack doesn't have any comments tonight. Thank
And
you.
I have no comments, except I hope we'll be seeing each other soon.
Us too. I would only add to Commissioner Hawkins and Commissioner Arnold's comment that I have seen our superintendent act swiftly and with decisively on knowing what our community needs and going out and addressing those needs immediately. I have also seen members of this community outside of our school system reach into the superintendent and her leadership team, and I want to say and her leadership team, to say what can we do to assist IPS. I think over the next few days you'll learn more about that, but I want to say that as I have moved through this crisis in a lot of meetings with our superintendent, it has reiterated to me the decision we made in July of last year was the right decision, and so I applaud you and turn the floor over to you for any comments.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to all the commissioners and those who've been virtually with us this evening. I have said now a million times we are in uncharted territory, unprecedented. I'm trying to find a new word. I can't find one. It's the same word. But we are all in this as a community, and the way that we will overcome this challenge is by continuing to operate as a community, recognizing that our individual actions impact our collective well-being. So just want everyone to continue to take care of yourselves, but also take care of each other. That is how we come out on the other side of this well. A couple of things I want to note as it relates to our work around food security and making sure all of our families' needs as it relates to food are met. We have made some updates. We'll be moving from our current 7 sites to 16 next week. So very excited to be expanding those services to, again, make sure we're meeting needs across our district. Yesterday we served about 1,200 students. That's actually above what we served over spring break and summer break of last year. So obviously that demand is there, and families are taking advantage of the service we're providing. So I'm very happy for that. To President O'Connor's comment, we are also very excited. We've been planning over the last week or so to be in partnership with Gleaners Food Bank. So Gleaners, in collaboration with our transportation team, will be distributing family-size boxes of non-perishable food items. 216 of those boxes can be loaded in each of our buses, and we'll be taking those to a number of sites across the district. There should be enough for 7 days for a family of 4. And so those sites will go online this evening. That work starts tomorrow. Will be the first half of the schools and sites, and then Monday we'll do a second half. So between the lunch sites that we have, the partnership with Gleaners for just expanded services for our families for food, I'm very proud to be a part of a district who has really stepped into that space and come up with a solution that we believe is going to serve our families and our students really well. I'm very thankful to Gleaners, to the community who supported Gleaners through the drive recently. I think the Earthsay challenge that he put out, they have $1 million extra now to do this work, and our families will certainly benefit from that. So a big thanks to our food service team. They have not had a day off. They have continued to work diligently. We'll have bus drivers out delivering those food items tomorrow, along with other volunteers assisting in that way. So as President O'Connor said, it's a tough time that we're in, but very inspiring to see the ways in which our community is coming together, and I'm very appreciative to get to lead in such an incredible district.
Thank you, Superintendent Johnson. We are reviewing our current meeting schedule. Our next scheduled meeting is April 21st. Given the declarations, we are going to work very diligently to strip down upcoming meetings and only meet when absolutely necessary on agenda items that are absolutely necessary to be taken action on. I will remind our commissioners that the guidance from the governor's office has allowed for virtual participation. We will continue to work on streamlining this a bit, but the current rules allow for 1 member to be in the room. I would nominate Commissioner Hawkins to be that person as frequently as possible. But that we will continue, and as further guidance is given on things that we have to do or ways that we will operate, we will continue to disseminate that. And as you heard from the superintendent, I think the best thing we can do is first take care of ourselves and then take care of others. That is sort of our charge coming from here. Check in on your neighbors by phone. Check in on people who might need help. And remember, maybe be a little extra kind in our day-to-day interactions because everybody's under a great deal of stress. With that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.